Now you carrying that along with you trying to carry victory. Victory can't be yours because you carrying the stuff that was.
So do we also allow, even as children, and we don't know because we're young, that we allow others to project their monster onto us, and their monster becomes our monster?
Because the question, because true story, when you talk about generational curses, that is exactly what that is. That's their monster being projected on you, and now your that is now your monster, and now you're projecting on your children, and that becomes their monster. It keeps growing because you being the spiritual one, as opposed to seeing it for what it is, as opposed to speaking to it and say, "Hey, I don't want to carry this to my next space."
You know what? This is why it's so important to have conversations with your relatives, as far as not just knowing who your grandmother was, but knowing who your grandmother was, or knowing what they did, or where they came from, or do you see where I'm going with that? The lack of conversation, and then these people die and they take the information with them to the
Acknowledge the place of your
acknowledging.
pain. So if
Yeah.
you go to your ancestors and you say, "Hey, grandmother, this right here didn't feel good to me. What happened?" You acknowledge that. Now it's your job that you've acknowledged it, not to stay there. Most of the times, you, me included, we are gifted in ways that we had no idea. We had no idea that this would be what the Lord would use for us to be able to move or even to be heard. But the problem is that there were not enough of us that are using our voices. But the thing about it is that does that make me want to shrink and not be able to use my voice? No. What it says is that it happened, it occurred. I acknowledge it. I don't want to stay there, and I desire to move forward.
And that's not your identity.
It's not.
We allow people's past to become our identity, and we pick up things, like you said before, that never belonged to us.
It never belonged to us. It is my desire every day to show up fully as I am and as authentically as I am, regardless of what I've been through. Because if I went down the litany of things that I have had to endure and overcome, there will be no way I could sit here. But I made a decision that I would not allow what has happened to me to keep me crippled or bound into a space while I'm able to move forward.